Proudly presented by Pence Homes and part of the Hitting the Hardwood podcast network. This is Link's Happy Hour. Yo, welcome, and welcome back, Lynx fans, to another episode of Lynx Happy Hour, the podcast where Lynx basketball is always on special. How are you? Happy Halloween. Thanks for joining. It is October 31st in the Twin Cities, and I am happy to be here with you today, as always, for another episode of the show. Very excited about today's episode. I will be joined by my good friend and colleague in the media, MARIELLE MOHS. You know her from her work with CBS and WCCO. MARIELLE's on TV all the time. The head of the great Women in Sports segment on WCCO, and now the host of the new Women in Sports podcast, which launched this week. Elle and I talk about turning the segment into a podcast, approaching that form, and the type of athletes she will get to spotlight in this really exciting new project. So Elle and I talk about that for a while. We get into a little bit of Halloween talk, wax poetic about the Lynx season a little bit, because that's what we do here. we wax poetic about all the things. So I'm very happy to be joined by Elle on the show. Always appreciating the chance to catch up with her. A little bit of housekeeping though, before we are joined by Elle. Lots of pieces of news coming out this week. We'll start with the best news. First news, best news. Head coach Cheryl Reeve, officially an inductee into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. I mean, has there ever been a bigger no-brainer in the history of Hall of Fames, not just sports Hall of Fames? This news came out on Wednesday, just before Elle and I recorded, so we talk about that a little bit in our conversation. But congratulations, Coach. Happy for you. It's probably the most well-deserved honor. Honestly, the first thing that crossed my mind, I think this was a morning press release. It was the first thing I saw when I checked my email after I woke up that morning. And it did cross my mind a little bit that she's not already in that Hall of Fame. There's so many different Halls of Fame, as there should be. We need more good stuff in the world. But I was like, I'm 90% sure Coach has already been inducted into every Hall of Fame possible. But nevertheless, new honor, expected honor, but still a very well-deserved honor. So shout out, Coach. We can't wait to celebrate you in the future and for all time to come. That happened on Wednesday. It also got announced that Dejanay Carrington will be out for the entirety of the 2026 Unrivaled season. Another little I read that tweet too quick when it came out, and my brain just sort of skipped over the word Unrivaled, and I thought they were saying Dejanay would miss the entire 2026 season, which felt extreme. I know that those foot injuries don't feel too good, but so sorry to hear that for Dejanay. Get well soon. With that news, Unrivaled did announce Ari McDonald, Rebecca Allen, and Dominique Malunga will fill out the field of players for this season. So that pool of 46 is set. Like last year, I expect there'll be a handful of emergency pool players who rotate in and out as needed. But those 46 players are set in stone, it would seem, for the time. So you can check that out. Go to Unrivaled's website for the complete list, and I imagine we'll have team assignments and rosters to look over very soon for all the exciting stuff that's happening over with Unrivaled. Elle and the team with WCCO will be going to Unrivaled. We chat about that too a little bit in the interview. So good to know that there's going to be some Minnesota media boots on the ground in Miami in January. I haven't figured it out if I can go yet or not, but I would love to, and that will be great to have more traveling media covering links related and links adjacent things that are happening, outside of Minnesota and outside of the structure of the WNBA season. So yeah, hitting the hardwood or the nine basketball. Anyone who I work with wants to pay for me to go to Miami in January, holler at your boy. Kind of burying the lead here a little bit, though, kind of by design, because I like to do things like that. We don't have a CBA agreement. We have an agreement to kick the can further down the road, which I guess counts as an agreement. Nonetheless, the league offered a 30-day extension of the October 31st deadline to the players, and the players have accepted it. So the deadline for a new CBA agreement before going into work stoppage is now November 30th, extended from October 31st, which is today. So, I mean, I'm not, doing cartwheels or anything about this. I'm glad that we're not in a official stoppage or, players being locked out, literally and figuratively. The fact that they agreed to that shows that they can agree to something, and makes me think that they're closer than they were a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago. If you're closer on anything, it's still closer, right? What do the Peloton instructors always shout at you? Forward is a direction, and you're like, hey, I don't need your little optimism. I'm dying over here. So I say it's not a bad sign, but I'll the cautious optimism doesn't allow me to say good sign yet. Uh, Not gonna count any of those chickens before they hatch, but they did agree to it. The deadline has been extended. Now we get to fight about it over the Thanksgiving dinner table that instead of at our Halloween parties. So another holiday adjacent deadline for the league and the players union to hopefully come to an agreement. And so, like I said, if they agreed on an extension, that means they've agreed on at least one thing, and that is progress from where we started. There you go, a little bit of progress. So don't give anyone too much credit yet. Don't start to expect that we can just put this all behind us and start thinking about next season. But they agreed to something, and I think that's special. All right, let's get into this conversation with Elle, and yeah, just keep it here. Happy to have you out here, and hope you're having a great Halloween weekend. And thank you again, as always, for joining me for this episode of Links Happy Hour on the Hitting the Hardwood Podcast Network. This episode of Links Happy Hour is brought to you by Pence Homes. The team at Pence Homes has experience working with first-time home buyers, folks selling their first home and buying their next place, to people looking to downsize. With the best tools, technology, and trusted vendors to help with any home project, Pence Homes is a top choice for buyers and sellers. For more info and to set up a time to meet with Nate and the team to talk about your home buying or selling needs, visit pencehomes.com. That is Pence, PENTZHOMES.com. Lynx fans, very exciting day here. Thrilled, pleased, just excited as all hell to be joined once again on an episode of Links Happy Hour with the great Elle MOHS from WCCO, launcher of a brand new podcast, which we'll be talking about a lot. First, Elle, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing on this beautiful fall morning?
Harry, I'm doing great. It's good to see you again. I feel like we take this huge departure from each other once the season wraps. So I'm glad we get to reunite today. This is great.
For sure. And we might be doing some more reuniting over the WNBA offseason, which
I
we
would love
just
that.
discovered. That's a tease for later in the interview.
Hmm.
But exciting stuff. This episode is coming out on Halloween itself. So, Elle, I
Ooh.
gotta ask you, do you have any fun Halloween plans or any just great Halloween traditions in
Ooh,
your
great
life?
question. Well, I'm a huge spooky girl.
Okay.
I'm an October birthday. So
Oh,
I
well,
think that's where it comes
happy
from.
birthday. When was it?
It was the 19th.
19th. Okay. Happy
Yes.
belated.
Thank you. I got to watch the Vikings and Carson Wentz lose on my birthday in person. It was really fun.
Yeah, perfect.
But as far as what we're doing this year, this is the first year that my boyfriend and I are in an actual house in a neighborhood. We're not
Nice.
doing
Congrats.
apartment living.
Yeah.
So we're going to have real trick or treaters. There's kids in this neighborhood, and we're super excited. So we're going to go all out. Our dog kind of looks like Snoopy. So we were
Oh,
thinking of
amazing.
being Charlie Brown, Lucy, and then the dog is Snoopy.
Right.
That's the plan.
That's perfect. Are you gonna dress him up like a World War One flying ace, like
I
Snoopy and the
already
Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
I literally had that conversation this morning with the dog. I said, "Are you ready to go into war-torn France
Right.
and save us all from the Red Baron?"
I just watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, not for the first time, but just rewatched it.
Yes, your
we
annual
we
watch.
had we had our annual Halloween party, and once it was over, people left like a bit after midnight because we're getting older. Still got a little bit, so we can make it past midnight. And I was
Love
just
it.
like, I need to wind down a little bit, so we watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown at like 1 in the morning after having a party. But in one of my several part-time gigs is something of a trivia host, so I was doing Halloween trivia as well recently, and learned by coming up with questions is that the very first like Halloween themed special was the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Was it
So
really?
shout
Oh,
out
I
to the
love
local
that.
legend Charles Schultz. That's
Yes, local edge.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
just
awesome.
watched It's a Great Pumpkin.
It's
Actually, last night. We just watched last night, and the
holds
dog
up.
was it really holds up, and the dog was sitting in front of the TV like right at the perfect time, and I took a picture. It's great. But and I remember saying to Peter, I was like, I love that they have not tried to. I know that there's versions of Peanuts cartoons now where the animation's enhanced, but I love that
Right.
they don't touch It's a Great Pumpkin. Like it
Yeah.
is still in SD OG. I
Yeah,
love it.
I don't. Yeah, update it so where I can watch it on like a modern TV. Like I don't have to go digging in my parents' basement for like an old box that's that may or may not work. But yeah, I want it to still look vintage. Like I don't need the modern stuff, whatever. So
Yes.
have you guys procured the candy that you will be distributing to trick or treaters?
So funny story, we
Is
did very early because we were having a couple people over for my birthday and I was like, let's just get our candy now. Then we'll have some candy we can set out for people. It's already
uh,
gone.
there you go. It
So we
sounds like it's your
gotta
first trick or treating experience
so we gotta go
in the house.
back and buy more.
Nice. There you go. Well, I always, as a kid, I really cherished the houses that gave out full size and king size candy bars. So this will be my third in a house where like, giving out candy to trick or treaters, and I've found the giant boxes of full size candy bars at like the grocery store that are kind of
Nice.
always hidden back there. So we've got enough for like 50, and
Nice.
we get a lot of kids too, so we've got some backups in case the full size runs out, but we're
Okay.
proud full size king size household over here.
I love that. You're so generous. I actually, and I still remember the houses. Like I can tell you in my old neighborhood which house gave
Hmm.
out full size. So maybe we should do the same. We're gonna make a Costco run tonight, the night
Right.
before Halloween, and we'll see what we can do.
I did the first year. I tried to go a little too crazy and give out tiny little bottles of Fireball to parents, and there just wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm for Fireball whiskey. But
Lame.
if
I
you're
would have
yeah
been pumped.
if you're in Northeast Minneapolis and you end up at my house, and you want some Fireball, to get that extra energy to escort your children around the rest of the night, just let me know. I'm happy to oblige.
That's
I would love
awesome.
to keep talking about Halloween all day, but we do have
Right?
some business to get down to. You do many things for our local CBS affiliate here. You're
Mhm.
all the games. You have so much responsibility covering all the teams. It's lovely being I love being able to cover just one. I can't imagine how you guys do what you do,
I'm
covering
jealous.
however many 29 teams we have in this market now,
Yes.
all doing great things. Uh, Women in Sports has been a segment on WCCO for a
Hmm.
while now, and
Hmm.
it is becoming or has become a podcast, just like this one,
Yeah.
but even better. That's Women in Sports, WOMN in
Hmm.
Sports. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out, like, subscribe, give it a 5-star review. I know you have all given this one a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast.
Hell
Do
yeah.
it if you haven't yet. Do it. So just tell us a little bit about the process and why how it came to be to keep this, which will still be a on air segment,
Hmm.
but have it exist in podcast form as well.
Yeah, well, WCCO over the last year, like I want to say beginning of this year, started building a podcast studio. And right away, I looked at my boss and I just said, I think this is a great opportunity to grow women in sports. And he fully agreed with me, which I was really excited to have his support right away. I was excited because podcasts are my favorite form of media to consume.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't even listen to music anymore because I'm just constantly listening to different podcasts
Yeah.
about a variety of topics. So I'm really excited to enter this space that I love so much.
Mhm.
And the whole point was in news, whether it feels like it or not, our segments, our stories are limited to no more than 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is generous. Sometimes
Mhm.
typically we just get a minute 30, and you really can't tell someone's full story in a minute 30.
Right.
It's really
I think an
hard.
hour and 30 is challenging, depending
Right.
on the story.
Exactly. So, like all these athletes, like I've had the pleasure of telling these great stories over the years, but I feel like I just scratched the surface.
Mhm.
And as you know, as someone I see all the time in the post game press room, um, we get like one or two questions, maybe three max off each, depending
Mhm.
on how many people are in the room. And we just we can sometimes expand outside of the game itself, but we're so focused on what happened in the game we just watched, what's happening in the next game, and the conversation just is limited. So I'm excited for this podcast to really talk about way deeper stuff, their
Mhm.
lives off the court, off the rink, and get to know these people on a deeper level and kind of have a no time limit conversation. So that's been really fun.
For sure. Yeah, it is an incredible form for that. And you get to ask people about stuff that is bigger than just, the game that you just watched or
Mhm.
are about to watch. Like talking with Cheryl, I got to, ask her about like what, since it's Link's happy hour, favorite happy hour, meals that, or not meals, but what happy hour item you're ordering for the table. And I learned that Cheryl really loves crab dip, and
Oh, love that.
she just artichoke dip. She's like just all the dips. Just I
Hmm.
think she said I'm a dippy gal, and I'm like, okay, this needs to be a shirt or a sign or something. But I can't, like you can, but it's not the highest level of professionalism after a win or after a loss is to be like, so if you're at happy hour with your friends, like what, it's so getting that sit down just where it's like, yeah, this is going to be a professionally conducted interview and we're going to get into a range of topics, but I want to
Right.
know more about you, the person. And I listened to the first
Exactly.
episode with JC Scott, and that was, I don't know what I was expecting with a person I wasn't super familiar with, but JC's story was incredible, and you
Hmm.
did a great job, bringing that to life. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah, for listeners who don't know who JC Scott is, she's the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders, and she's in her third season now and has really elevated the squad and kind of brought it into a more evolved time. And there's two guys that have joined the roster, and there's been sadly a lot of haters that had come out and spoken against it, and to hear
Right.
her stand up for those guys and defend them was like really cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a great interview, and JC's great. And yeah, so go
Yeah.
listen to, if you haven't listened to that and you're listening to this,
Mhm.
listen to the rest of the segment with Elle, but then go listen to her podcast. So how frequently will this air in podcast
Mhm.
form, and what upcoming episodes can you, I know you can't just spill the beans on everything that's coming,
Mhm.
but what can we maybe tell the listeners to look out for, and what's exciting coming down the pipeline for women in sports?
Yeah, so we this is going to be a weekly podcast, new episode every Wednesday, and we already have 4 episodes in the can, which I'm really excited about. Happy to
Mhm.
share. The next week, it's going to be Mara Braun and Amaya Battle, who are 2
Nice.
starters on the Gopher women's basketball team. They're also best friends. They
Mhm.
definitely gave me a stud buds energy when they came in the room. Like they are very much like they call each other as the Twinums, which
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
heard Courtney and T refer to each other as the same thing. So
Mhm.
they're definitely the dynamic duo of the Gophers, and the conversation was hilarious. I can't believe how much we were laughing, but
Right.
at the same time, we got deep too. So we took on some deep topics that I was enlightened by some of the things that they said. They helped me understand kind of the combo of faith and athletics, because you see those two intersect so often. And they
Mhm.
explained why that to them faith is so important. And it was a great conversation. Followed by that, we have Taylor Heisey of the Minnesota Frost, and we have Hockey Hall of Famer Natalie Darwitz coming up.
Okay. Pretty
So,
pretty strong start. I'm a
yes,
little threatened in the podcast space, but we're a Thursday or Friday show, so I'm happy to let you take
there
the
we go.
Wednesday slot. The more the merrier. We need a million
I
podcasts in
was going to
Minnesota
say,
highlighting
we're all
women's
lifting
sports.
each other
So
up.
for sure,
Yeah.
that's really exciting. Well, I can't help but notice that one of the voices in the trailer is should have been MVP Nafisa Collier. Do we
Mm-hmm,
have any
mm-hmm.
fee, any links, things coming up that you can speak about?
Yeah, we really pushed hard to try to get Fee as our first guest, but as all your listeners know, she is a hot commodity right now.
Right.
She's a very busy woman, leading the charge of a league unrivaled,
Right.
and also just leading the charge in these CBA negotiations.
As
So,
we're talking now, the CBA negotiation deadline is like 29 hours away. So of course, Fee's got uh, a lot going on at
yes.
this point.
So she's still on the dream guest list. I really hope we can get her one of these days. But as far as the links go, I'm super excited because as of yesterday, my WCCO managers confirmed that myself and my podcast producing partner, Annie Kelby, are going to cover Unrivaled for one weekend. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm super pumped, and I'm hoping we can. We're obviously going to cover some hoops that weekend, but I'm hoping we can get Fee for a sit down. And another dream guest would be Paige Beckers. We'll see.
And maybe we can have women in sports crossover with a Stud Buds live stream, as I'm
Oh,
sure
that'd be
several
sick.
of those will be taking place. I'm trying
Yes.
to get to Unrivaled 2. Don't have any confirmation as of yet, but
Mm-hmm.
if
I've
we
heard the
if
tickets
we
are
overlap,
ridiculous, but fortunately, like
yeah, it's
you and I
extortionate.
can do the media outlet route, but like the
Right.
tickets are like on the I've heard like the resale market are ridiculous.
Yeah. There it's a hot commodity for sure.
Yeah.
As you mentioned. Well, that's super exciting.
Yes.
And I'm very excited about the women's basketball element with Mara and Amaya and Gophers, who should be pretty damn good this year.
I hope
Uh,
so.
they're if Mara stays healthy, that
I
team
was gonna
is,
say
yeah.
that's all it's gonna take. They
Well,
just need for
we're
that
both
team
knocking
to
on
stay
wood right now,
healthy.
listener. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a very, very exciting time to be a women's hoops fan
Hmm.
in Minnesota. So then, though, is it weekly, just kind of year round? Do you take a break after these first four? Will there be kind of like pause, bring it back?
Hmm.
But what's kind of the plan schedule wise?
Yeah, we're gonna try and make it really consistent every Wednesday. The only break I know we're taking for sure is 2 weeks, the week of Christmas and the week of the New Year.
Mhm.
But the reason we're working ahead so much is that our goal is that we don't have to do any recordings in December, even though new episodes will still be coming out up until Christmas. So,
Big.
yeah, we're going to try and be as consistent on top of it as we can. And the best part is I'm sure you've realized this too. Like, there's so many untold stories in women's sports
Mhm.
that the interview opportunities are endless. Like when we were creating our wish list of who we wanted, it was just like we couldn't stop coming up with ideas because there's just so many great women
Mhm.
out there who have been like trailblazers in their sport, and haven't told their full story, or we haven't heard them on a long format interview style. So I'm excited.
I am excited too. This is awesome. So happy that this gets to live in that way. And what's always been a good, but like you said, too brief of a television segment
Mm-hmm.
gets to have this kind of, um, like a more elaborate form
Mm-hmm.
in the audio world. So
Yeah.
I'm subscribed and liked up.
Hell yeah. Thank
I
you.
rated. I think I was the first 5-star rating. I was trying to rate it 5 stars off the trailer, and Spotify wouldn't let me. So I had to wait until the first episode came out.
Terry,
But
thank you for that.
everyone, right now, make sure you are following Women in Sports with L. Sadly, I think the last time I saw you was after Game Two
Mm-hmm.
of the semis.
Mm-hmm.
The season ended too soon, as we've
Way too
had
soon.
basically a month now to think about it. But when you sort of reflect on this season of Lynx basketball and how it fit into your work as a journalist in this market, kind of what are your sort of what will be like stand out as the biggest memories, or just the biggest takeaways from
Mm,
this team and what they did, even though it fell short of the championship that everyone wants so badly.
yeah. Before I answer your question, I will say, like, I don't know about you, but I randomly can't stop thinking about the season and how it ended, and it pops into my brain all the time. And I'm
Sure.
always like,
And it just ruins the rest of your day.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I think what makes me mad is I wonder, like, what if? Because obviously the Aces swept the Mercury, and I'm just like, I feel like that wouldn't have happened if the
Yeah.
Lynx, if they were against the Lynx, they would have given them, they might not have won, but they would have given them a run for their money. And it would have
Mhm.
been, I just, it would have been pushed to more games. And it just makes me sad. Anyways, favorite memory. I will say one of my favorite memories is just the pink wig debut when everyone in the crowd was wearing the stud buds pink was like, was everything. I thought that was so awesome. Um, and then I'm trying to think. Another favorite memory was I feel like I'm still like kind of pinching myself that I got to interact with Bon Iver like 3 times this season because he was
Okay.
at the games so often, and he did like these media availabilities, like when they would have kids from local nonprofits that he was helping come in
Mhm.
and do like practices with the Lynx. Like I went to
Yeah.
one of those availabilities, and like I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm casually hanging out with Bon Iver. Hold on.
Mhm.
My cat just interrupted.
My cat's been staring at me from across the room, and I think she's going to interrupt too. So, cat interruptions are always welcome on this show.
Okay, good. But yeah, I would say like and just that undefeated, like I think we made it like 11-0 run in the beginning when Carly Samuelson was still on the team too. Like that was another highlight. Like I just really enjoyed the way the season started, where it just felt like, oh, this team's unstoppable. And I kind of just lived in that mentality all season long, even though things started changing with injuries and all those things.
Right.
What about you?
Definitely a lot of the same thoughts. It felt like they were given, especially that early stretch, 9-0, by the way, not to
Oh,
fact
nine and
check
oh.
you
Yo,
live
no,
on the air, but
please, please.
um, but yeah, it was like coming out of the finals the previous year, it felt like there were people bought in locally who may not have been bought in during Lynx games in the month of May before.
Hmm.
And some of that was, you have across the street, you have a Twins organization giving its fan base the finger basically
Hmm.
all year. So it was like that was a conversation I was having, like constantly with just people in my family and friend group who were devastated by the Twins and were just like, F it, I'm all about the Lynx now. This is my summer. This is my Minnesota summer sports here.
Hmm.
Hey, I know it's nice outside, but come into Target Center where it's somehow always freezing in the media section, but it's the vibes are warm and amazing. So yeah, it was so fun to be in that arena every night and like day basically. Like
Hmm.
there's maybe one or two, bad practices, but not many over the course of a
Hmm.
season. You're gonna have a couple. There's like I think one practice availability afterwards where Cheryl told us like that they did not come to work today, and she was visibly, disappointed, as were, all the players. And then like the next day, there was it was one day they had like 3 days off between games or something, so more practice time than the usual week, and then practice availability the next day. I just asked coach like, how'd practice go today, coach? And she was like, better, thank God, a lot better. And then I kept asking about differences, and she was like, Terry, bad practices happen sometimes. It's not the biggest deal in the world. um but yeah, I remember the first Bon Iver availability. It was just the two of us,
Yes.
and on
And I
on
was like on
on
my
the
cell
court.
phone.
Yeah, and I was like, I think we both looked like, what are we supposed to ask? Like that had just been announced, and it was just like, hey, like, can we be friends? Like, can we hang out?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like so fun. Like that was Paige Becker's Bon Iver night, and that was
Yes.
like a little bit like life of a journalist. I was also helping my Dallas Wings colleague do some writing on Maisha Hines Allen and Nalissa Smith, who's then on the Wings. So of course, like I make the request to talk to Nalissa Smith. So I'm waiting for her to finish her pregame warm up routine before she talks to media, and then of course she finishes it smack dab in the middle of Bon Iver's availability. So the Dallas PR person was like, "Hey, it's now," and it's like, "All right, bye, Grammy winner. I have to talk to Nalissa Smith," and I was just
Yeah.
like, "That is like a funny moment just because of everything that like Justin Vernon has accomplished and stuff." But it's still like, hey,
Right.
the story here is women's basketball, so if
Yeah.
you're if you're not in uniform, you take the back seat
Right.
to that stuff.
Right.
So I was thrilled that I got to talk to Justin for that length, but also thrilled to
Yeah.
talk to Nalissa immediately afterwards. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of those just I it was Paige's availability into Justin's, and then doing my own interviews and stuff. Like I was pretty hoarse by the end of it. And
Yeah.
then sit in the biggest part, I think you'll appreciate this too, the significant upgrade in the media dining experience for Lynx games this year.
Yes.
Unreal. It's one of the best in the league now.
Yes. Agreed.
I made sure to chat with visiting media members every single game to be like, hey,
Yeah. I mean,
how's
we're
this stack
basically
up?
eating the same stuff the VIP people are eating that they pay thousands of dollars a ticket. Well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of
Right,
dollars for a ticket.
right.
It's great.
It is
Um,
so I think the quality of coverage got better because we were
because
fed
we were
better.
well fed.
Right. Not to, shame on anyone who was here in the past, but the little plastic boxes of whatever that sat under like
A heat
portable heat
lamp.
lamps for
Yeah.
hours. Like one game I was incredibly early in the 2024 season, just because it was like, oh, I can go home or I can go to the game now. Like, it just makes sense to go right now. So I
Yeah.
got there like the second the media room opened, which is 4 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. And those little boxes of food under the heat lamp were already in there. And I'm like,
Ew.
people don't get here until like 5:30. Like, how long
No.
does this sit there? And yeah, I never got sick off of it. And it was more like bland than it was gross. But they're like Lynx PR staff were kind of teasing me a little bit before the preseason. It was just like, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're going to like it. And then to get a, Lexus Club wristband and our own little section. I didn't discover the own little section though until later. We accidentally sat at the table reserved for Glenn and Becky Taylor,
Oh
and we're
no.
told very politely and very gently that
You need to
you
move.
have to move.
That's hilarious.
And it was I did, like Glenn style. It wasn't like an elevated table,
Yeah.
like some shrine, whatever. It was just one of the tables right there, and no one
Yeah.
was sitting at it. So thought,
I respect the Taylor's
yeah,
commitment to both teams. They are
of
like
course.
courtside every game, no matter what. Like mad respect for that.
Hmm.
I love it.
For
But
sure.
like I think I had a whoa moment with the Bon Iver thing because he's Justin Vernon is such a chill dude and it feels he doesn't feel like a superstar when you're talking to him because he's down to earth and not a diva or anything. And
Right.
so you're just like you think you're just talking to this really nice person and you're like, sweet. And then I'm in my car, my phone, my music's on shuffle, and all of a sudden like Exile by Taylor Swift featuring Bon Iver pops up, and I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, I
Of
met
course.
that guy that collabs with Taylor Swift.
I wanted to ask him about Taylor Swift so bad, but it was like maybe, yeah, maybe like 10 more times talking with him.
Yeah, that's a podcast question, not maybe
Yeah.
a courtside
Right.
question.
Yeah. And maybe like hour two of an extended interview.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna praise Nafisa Collier properly for a long time before we get to the Taylor Swift of it all.
Right, right.
Um, I got like the biggest sense of FOMO was the team day they had at like Bon Iver's ranch in Eau Claire. I don't know if it's technically a ranch, but
Yeah.
enormous, beautiful property
Hmm.
where there is just the official Lynx account was sharing like court and land doing karaoke and like
Yes.
T in like the studio with Bon Iver, like about to drop a track, and then them just the whole team just hanging in various parts of whatever compound Bon Iver has,
Yes.
has has built for recording music. It's like Paisley Park, Eau Claire, I guess. Um,
Literally.
so I was just like, damn, it must be so cool to be on this team.
Truly. Truly.
Yeah, and that vibe kind of just carried through the whole season, and
100%.
I think I'm really sad I wasn't able to be at the like sort of end of season celebration when they got back. Uh,
Hmm.
and which everyone wanted to be celebrating a championship, but I thought it was important to send the team into the offseason on that high note. And also
Yeah.
Cheryl coming off a suspension in the last game, grabbing the microphone and starting with "I'm free" is so
Iconic.
iconic. Yeah. Oh, and as we're talking right now, we got the news today
Right.
that Cheryl's an inductee into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, which I mean was going to come at some point.
Right.
Make
It's
the most obvious
surprising.
placement ever, but still, congrats,
Right.
coach. Yeah,
Congrats, coach. I'm surprised like it hadn't happened already. So much deserved and super pumped for her.
yeah. With coaching eligibility, it's always like because players have to be retired for a certain amount of time. Coaches, it kind of seems like it's just whenever the various or specific Hall of Fame like wants to do it. I don't know, but
Hmm.
if there's a Hall of Fame that doesn't include Cheryl Reeve, I don't even care if it's basketball related or not. It just it's
Right.
zero
For real.
credibility if Coach Reeve's not in it. Man,
Agreed.
for sure. All right. Anything else that we can plug before I let you get out of here? I know you got to get over to the studio and deal with
Yes.
more important media heads
No,
and myself, but
this is important. Thank you so much. Like I just appreciate you and all the hitting the hardwood guys for like continuing to amplify women's sports. Like you guys are the OGs, truly. Like you've been doing it way longer than I have and I just appreciate the support you guys we all give each other. It's very
Hmm.
like symbiotic relationship, and I love it.
Yeah,
So thanks for the flowers. I appreciate it.
of course.
And yeah, I think, yeah, just like I said, every Wednesday, new episodes. We'll take a holiday break and be right back at it. And then we're going to be in Miami for Unrivaled the weekend of January 16th through 18th.
Okay.
I will be heading up to Orlando halfway through the weekend to cover the U of M dance team at college nationals for that as well for the
Oh,
second year in a
nice.
row. But the first half will be Unrivaled. So that is happening in January. And then you can always watch the podcast on YouTube as well.
Hell yeah. And last question, because I've only ever asked Coach this on the show, but since it is Link's happy hour, go
Mm.
to happy hour item if you're on a patio or somewhere. I guess it's not really patio season anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
what are you ordering for the table, but also secretly hoping that the server place is kind of directly in front of you?
This is a really easy question and a very Minnesota or Wisconsin answer, but cheese curds.
Yep. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I am a cheese lover. It's my vice. I'm addicted to it. And it's an unhealthy habit, but
Oh,
man, if there's cheese curds on the menu, I am ordering
there's
them.
nothing unhealthy about cheese. It's good for the soul.
It really
Good, good,
is.
good for the mind. It's good for everything. So yeah, we'll catch up sometime soon and get some cheese curds.
I
And
would love
yeah,
that.
for sure. All right, Elle, thank you so much again.
Thanks,
Everyone, go
Terry.
check out Elle's new podcast, Women's Sports. Thanks for joining the show, Elle. See you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you again to the great Elle MOHS for joining me on this episode of Link's Happy Hour. Be sure you all subscribe to the Women in Sports podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can find all of the great Women in Sports segments and episodes at WCCO.com. And congratulations again to Coach Cheryl Reeve on the very well-deserved Women's Basketball Hall of Fame induction. Again, biggest no-brainer in history. But congratulations, all the same. We're happy for you, Coach. Get well soon. Dejanay Carrington, speedy recovery. All the well wishes. And to all of you amazing people, incredible Lynx fans, happy Halloween. Stay safe. Have a great Halloween weekend. Let me know what I want to see. I want to see evidence of the great costumes. I want to see pet costumes. What kind of candy did you give out? Full size, king size, or fun size? It doesn't matter. Hope you're out there spreading the Halloween cheer all around. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again next week for a brand new episode of Lynx Happy Hour, the podcast where Lynx basketball is always on special. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff, and give the show 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. I appreciate it a lot. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.